If you own a tent with seam tape, you need to watch this video, especially if it's an REI tent. But don't worry, we'll tell you how to fix it because that warranty just isn't what it used to be. Stay tuned. REI tents were always my favorite. They always seem to have a lot more custom qualities to them. The door that tucks into the pocket I always loved, and some of the things you would get at a cheaper price. But I don't buy REI tents anymore, and the big reason is the seam tape has failed on me several times. I've turned in my first tent that had a seam tape failure, and they ended up giving me a credit, so I used it towards another tent, ended up picking another REI tent. I wish I hadn't. This is the one actually that I had picked out after turning that one in, and the exact same thing has happened, seam tape failure. And it seems like they knew about it too, because when I went into the store, I take very good care of my stuff, so I was probably towards the end of turning in going in for a warranty on the seam tape. And so at that point they had said, oh yeah, we know about this, and well, there's really nothing that we can do. And so they would said, okay, well, we can just give you what you paid for it. And then, but at that point, tents just keep going up. So now I have to go and spend more money to get into another tent just because they had a failure, which I didn't think was fair. Really regretted turning in my first tent that had the seam tape failure. I love the design, and they don't make it anymore. So when they had said, okay, well, we'll let you turn this one in, I declined. And so, because I knew that the money just wasn't worth it at that point. So what I ended up doing was they gave me some free seam tape repair glue. At that point it was only happening just here and there, and so I didn't do it. But now it is happening across the entire tent, and so I have to do this video. I just think that it's ridiculous that you would pay this much money for a backpacking tent, especially $300 to $400. I mean, depending, I guess, if you get it on a discount. And then after, I don't know, it was actually only about maybe 5 or 6 years that it started happening. So let's say that by 5, 6 years you have to buy a new tent. That's not okay. And so that is why I've stopped buying REI tents and moved on to other brands. I won't say which, but I'm trying out other brands as I go along and seeing which ones last. So actually, maybe stay tuned. Maybe in a few months, you never know, I'll give some updates on some other tents. This sealant adhesive, this seems to be the newest and greatest that they have available right now. And it says that there's enough in here to do an average size, I guess, 2-person tent. So this is an ultralight 2-person, so hopefully it's enough. There's a lot less likely than others. And so I'll be showing you how to use this. The reason the seam tape failed, it just seems to be that it dried out. And you can see right here, it's just, I can even pick up little pieces of it. It's all over the place. I don't like that it gets all over the environment and places that I backpack. Of course, we all love, generally I think we all love the natural environment and want to keep it the way it is. And so that really bugs me when I see that this stuff's flaking off. And I think that REI should be somewhat accountable for that, right? Because they're making so many tents, and then this stuff's just flaking off out of our tent. And when it shakes out or it comes off as you move about getting in and out of the tent and into our lakes and rivers and streams, I'm kind of bummed about that. But now it's just getting so much that I literally can't keep it under wraps here. So now we're going to show you how to fix this problem, because you shouldn't have to live with it, and it'd be nice to have a tent that doesn't just go in the trash. Less out of the landfill. Let's get this problem fixed. Let's get you back on the trail. Okay, so what you're going to want to get are a couple of soft bristle brushes. These are very soft. They're not super soft, but just enough that they're not going to hurt your tent. I picked these up as part of a kit from Harbor Freight. So a lot of people will say that you have to get all of this tape off. And in a perfect scenario, we would try to try to get it all off. But it is clearly in this situation, it's not going to happen. Just do your best where you just try to get all the loose pieces off and make it so that you can repair this as best as possible. Of course, you know, in a perfect world, you could just pull this tape right off, but it didn't really work like that in this scenario here. And it's probably the type of tape that REI was using or is currently using. Maybe still, we're not sure, but because I'm not buying any more of their tents. Get yourself a shop vac. Okay, so now it's just time to get down to business. Start vacuuming. You also want to stake out your tent prior to adhering, because you want to make sure it's nice and taut so you don't have any wrinkles or anything like that as you're applying the adhesive. So go ahead and make sure you do a good job of pitching it out. It doesn't have to be incredibly tight, just normal tight. You want to apply some rubbing alcohol along with a nice rag. You want to clean up where you're going to apply this so that you get a good adhesion and you don't have anything that's keeping it from applying to the surface. The seam sealer comes with these 3 items. Poker in the cap, so I ended up using this This stuff stinks, so use it outside. I wouldn't do this in your house. So far, this stuff looks really nice, though. I do like the look of it. But try to keep it away from any zippers. Do not get it in a zipper. I'd say once you kind of think you've got it pretty worked in there, just leave it alone because it starts to become tacky. So this has come out amazing. Definitely very stinky, but it looks great. So once you have it scraped off with the brush and fully vacuumed, then go ahead and put it over your tent backwards, or reverse, so that you have the seams facing out, and that's how you're going to be able to seal them and keep them tight in the right shape. Because if you do it while it's flat, it doesn't lay flat because it's meant to go up over your tent. I don't think this tube is quite enough for an entire 2-person tent. Maybe I'm going a little heavy, but I recommend getting 2 tubes, as that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get as far as I can with this particular tube and then finish up in the morning. But I'm going to give you guys an idea of what this looks like before we wrap up here. I'm very happy with it. I think that this is a great way to repair the tent. It already feels nice, just a little. I mean, I can't touch it, but as you're applying it, you can just feel that this is definitely going to be sealing the tent. So I highly recommend this. I think it's a great way to fix a problem that a lot of tents are plagued with. And frankly, it's probably not just REI. I'm sure a lot of tents are plagued with this problem, but the REI tents... Squirrels just want to talk right now, huh? What do you guys got to say? So anyhow, it's probably not just the REI tents. I know a lot of other tents are probably feeling it, but the fact that it happened so early and it's flaking off like that, I was just not happy with it. And so it's a good way to solve this problem, and I hope this works for you. Go ahead and subscribe if this helped you. I know that REI is a good company, but they're not really as good as everybody always thinks, so be careful.